Hello guys, this is Monitor Major here, bringing you some commentary over some live King of the Hill gameplay. I've tried to record this 3 times now, my Elgato software is being a little bit difficult, but I got a bit of help on Twitter, and I'm hoping that I've managed to sort it out to work okay now. I've been playing King of the Hill, I've played it 2 games now. It was originally going to be my first impressions video, but it's kind of cheating a little bit because I have played it twice. I played 1 game on Stealth King of the Hill. Stealth King of the Hill I actually enjoy a lot more than I thought I would. Unfortunately, you are able to get King of the Hill on Ragnarok, which I don't think is the best idea for 5v5. I'm not really a big fan of Ragnarok, as you guys know, so I'm a little bit biased there, but personally, Stealth King of the Hill, there's a lot of frustrating hiding spots on King of the Hill, and then you've got the invis people in the hill. It can be quite hard to see invisible people on Ragnarok, I feel like, more so than other maps, because the contrast is quite bright, for me anyway. So yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that. But Stealth King of the Hill isn't nearly as annoying as I thought it might be. Stealth King of the Hill, I started off thinking that it was going to be your invis no matter where you're standing on the map, and that would have sucked. Obviously, because it's called King of the Hill, I got a bit confused. But it turns out you're just invisible when standing in the hill, so that's not that big a deal. Because honestly, I'd say one of the most frustrating things about being invisible is that when you're not expecting it, it can be really frustrating because you're not like thinking about looking out for someone who's invisible. They just kind of pop out from nowhere. Whereas on Stealth King of the Hill, because the hill's red or blue or whatever color the enemy team are, you're kind of like, oh, so there's someone in there, so you know what to look out for, so it's less frustrating. And they've got a very small area to hide in, so I feel like if you know what you're looking out for, it can be quite easy to actually stumble across them. But overall, I enjoy King of the Hill so far. I personally prefer it to Dominion Light. Dominion Light, I'm a little bit worn out on, I suppose. I think it finished at the right time because Dominion Light definitely needs a couple of changes here and there because the turrets don't work as well as planned, and I feel like some of the power weapon placements are a little bit controversial for my liking. Whereas King of the Hill is one of my favorite playlists starting off with this game. It was actually one of the first playlists I devoted a real amount of time to. Like, my friends, it was one of the least frustrating playlists for my friends because some of my friends didn't like the imbalanced issues that were with Halo 4 and they refused to play Infinity Slayer. So King of the Hill was a nice middle ground where it was quite chaotic, fast-paced, and it wasn't utterly, ridiculous, basically. So, yeah, King of the Hill I have a lot of experience with. It feels like, to me, the vast majority of King of the Hill players don't like it quite as much. It doesn't seem to get too good playlist numbers, which really, really depresses me, because like I said, I really do enjoy the playlist. I suppose that's down to the fact that, strong, dominant teams will destroy people on it, basically. It's got all the regular power weapons available to people. Dominion Light got better playlist numbers when it first came out, and I feel like part of the reason for that is because even though it can get a little bit top-sided, you don't have all these ridiculous power weapons at your disposal at all times. Like, I think one of the most frustrating things for new players is if they're getting wrecked by a strong team, once they've accumulated all the power weapons and they have them at their disposal, it can be super frustrated to get out of spawn, get sniped, get out of spawn, get rocketed, etc. So I feel like that's something that's hard to deal with. And a lot of people don't know how to use a lot of the power weapons. There's plenty of people who, when they pick up with a sniper, they choke every single shot and they give it to the enemy team. And yeah, that can be a little bit frustrating for them. But we'll just have to wait and see how this playlist does. I personally always thought King of the Hill should be a permanent playlist, but at the same time I understand that if it's not getting the numbers, it doesn't really deserve to be a permanent playlist, which sucks, but it's just the way of the game right now. There's not enough numbers and there's not enough of a strong ranking system to build up momentum for a playlist. Like, King of the Hill is a playlist more so than most that would definitely benefit from having a strong ranking system and having something to work towards, because it's very team-orientated. Good teams dominate this sort of playlist. Oh, this could be my overkill, but he's running away, sort of. Oh, no, I had to reload anyway. As you can see, I'm using the bolt shot a bit more recently, like a scumbag. I don't know why I'm using it as much as I am. In matchmaking sometimes, recently, I'm not even using it at good times. I'm just, like, freaking relying on it, like, using it as a crutch. I don't even know why. It's bad of me. It makes me a bad person. I understand. I might switch back to the Magnum. There was just a phase when I was just like, there's so many times I'd pull out the Magnum and it just couldn't do anything, you know, like, it was like, oh, the guy was two-shot, and then the bloom of the pistol just screws me over, or the shots don't register, and something frustrating happens. Whereas the bolt shot is just insane in comparison, and once you come across a certain number of players who dominate with that bolt shot, it gets so frustrating. I've got so many bad flashbacks to draw back on, so I'm just kind of like, I just kind of went with the fight fire with fire mentality. Which is not a very good one, but there we go. I actually like Complex as a BTB map, personally. I think it's good for this size of players. I think it's terrible for 4v4. I think it's terrible for 9v9, or whatever number it is on BTB. But I do think it's good for the 6v6, 7v7 type of numbers, and maybe even 5v5. I mean, it seems to be working on King of the Hill. I think, like, it's good to have a reason to make players, to force players to have to gravitate towards something. I think that makes it a lot better as well. Because, you know, Complex is such a big map, there's so many hiding spots, but these players have to move to the hill, because if they don't, they'll get destroyed. They'll just lose the game, pretty much. And they are losing the game. They're trying to make their way, but it's not working out very well for them. And I seem to be doing pretty decent. But yeah, overall, King of the Hill is definitely one of my, like, it's a fan favorite for me. And amongst my friend group as well, you know, we always enjoy playing these. A lot of people I speak to in the YouTube community really enjoy King of the Hill, so I'm not sure why it never does as well as expected. Like I said, most likely due to the ranking complications. CSR isn't really something to strive for nowadays. Especially as you know that this playlist is going to be a rotational one, it's like there's even less reason to work towards doing well on it, because if you get a really, really high CSR, all it's going to do is make you have less fun games for a little while, and then it will get reset, so you'll have nothing to show for it at the end. So I think that's kind of frustrating. I keep going for overkills, but screwing them up. But I seem to just have a good mindset for King of the Hill. I don't know why. I feel like it's one of the playlists I flourish most in. Maybe that's because I'm playing noobs right now and I'm just feeling good about myself. But it forces close encounters, close quarters encounters, and that's probably something that I'm best at, is keeping a level head under pressure in a close quarter situation. Maybe that's down to my bolt shot swag. I'm not sure. But I really like situations like that. I like being really up in someone's face and then, like, they choke. And, like, I love, like, just putting more pressure on and just, like, trying to make it like a pressure cooker, and they just want to get out of the situation. Because a lot of players, they really, really enjoy having range, and they really don't like, a player forcing them into a situation they don't want, you know what I mean? And that's pretty much my whole playstyle in general, is, like, forcing a situation that the enemy player is not going to be fond of. Because, you know, some players, for example, when they use the sniper rifle, when they're using a long-range weapon, they want to keep a certain distance between you. I'd say Severed Void. Severed Void can handle both, that's the thing, but I definitely say his preference is mid-range confrontation and, like, dictating the pace of battle, making you have to, like, come to them rather than having this, like, insane aggro fest. So, yeah. Anyway, that's been my first impressions of King of the Hill. I really enjoy the playlist. If you guys want to show Free4Free that this playlist has, you know, potential, which I really do, then I advise getting on it regularly, trying it out, and giving it the benefit of the doubt, because Free4Free aren't stupid. If they see that a playlist has a lot of potential in the numbers department, they're not just going to abandon it by the wayside. But anyway, I've been Modest Major. Hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. Peace out.